Both sides. Vogue. Hi, friends. How are you? I am so excited to be here with you today. If you're new here, hey girl, where you been? I'm Dr. AJ Austin, founder of the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC. Okay. Where I train Black women of faith how to become certified life coaches online in one day. They are skilled, they are professionally trained, they are qualified, and they are certified life coaches. Okay? We have about 155 under our belt at the time of this recording. We have about 40 plus women who have taken the online self-study life coach certification. Some of them will join us here tonight on Facebook Live. Say hello when you come in the room if you're watching me live, because on tonight, I'm telling you the number one, it's really three, but I snuck that in there. But the myth, also the misconception about life coaching. There are some myths and misconceptions, and we're going to dive into them on tonight. Are you ready? If you're here with me live, say hello when you come in the room. Send an emoji, which is like a smoke signal saying we're here. You may not can see us because Facebook Live sometimes show the numbers, sometimes show the names, sometimes show the comments. You just got to love and hate Facebook at the same time. YouTube, say hello. I want to meet you. I get the notifications when you hit subscribe. I click on your name and pray for you and your business. Future Black Life Coach. I see you. Can you let me know that you see me seeing you? Okay, cool. Podcasters, I'm not leaving you out. If you're over at Black Life Coach Radio, say hey if there's a way, wherever you're listening to this. If you want to say hey personally, you can inbox me via email. I'm aj@thebossof.me. Okay. Now that we have the introductions, the housekeeping, and the niceties out the way, we're about to dive in. I ain't going to be before you long. Every preacher says that, right? I just started calling myself a preacher because I realized I be preaching to y'all in these internet streets about this thing we call life coaching. And on tonight, if I had to give tonight's live a message, a title, it would be the myths and misconceptions about becoming a Black woman certified life coach. Let me start with number one, but before I do, let me let you know that if you're watching live on Facebook, over at blacklifecoachmovement.com, you can get the text that I'm coming from on tonight, the text that I came from on our other live, and the text I'll be coming from in future lives. It's a part of what we're calling the Future Black Life Coach Beginner Bundle. Okay, it's a mouthful. So it's really the Future Black Woman Life Coach Beginners Bundle. If you see me look off, it's because I'm looking on my AirPad to keep up with my notes of all the things that are in this digital downloadable bundle that is on sale now as a pre-purchase. And I said on sale, okay? That means the price just may go up at any moment. You never know. But if you want to pass the offering plate on tonight and jump in, my friend, it's over at blacklifecoachmovement.com. Yes, the text, okay? If I had to show you the text in person, those of you here in the sanctuary with me on tonight, this is a text, right? Oh, that you see the girl? That's a text. I'm only bringing you a few little sentences from tonight's text, okay? It's part of the bundle over at blacklifecoachmovement.com. Shouts out to Coach Deborah. Shouts out to future Black Life Coach Rachel. Thank you guys for joining us with the Future Black Woman Life Coach Beginners Bundle over at blacklifecoachmovement.com, because y'all stay in my inbox like, Dr. AJ, when is your next life coach certification training? Dr. AJ, how much is your one-day life coach certification training? Dr. AJ, how long does it really take to become a certified life coach? And I'm like, let me just go on and throw some stuff together for you to educate you on this process we call life coaching. So I packaged together some e-courses, e-books, and e-audios that's full of things that I would tell any future Black woman certified life coach that you need to invest in for your learning before you get certified with me or anyone else. Something comes before the certification and you need to know what you're getting into. And so I'm here to educate you. On my last live, it is a laugh live too, because I know I say some stuff y'all be like, wow, she's crazy. But I tell you about the bundle and the parts. So we've already talked about part 1 because it's the Life Coach Revisited e-audio book that's really the secret pre-training that all of my certified life coaches get when they come train with me. So if you want to know what that's like, head over to blacklifecoachmovement.com right now. That's Atlanta for right now. And check out the bundle because the ebook for the life coaches in there, that's the pre-training to the actual certification process where you get your feet wet. You get to take an assessment to see if your future as a Black life coach is really in the cards for you, if you will. But then you also get to take what we call the heart-to-heart promise, where you're talking to you and Jesus about this thing he's called you to do here in this earth. And we call it the ministry of life coaching. But it's also a mission and it's a movement. That's why blacklifecoachmovement.com is where you find out all about this, because another part of that bundle, part 2 of the bundle that I put together for future Black women life coaches, it's the Life Coach Revisited e-book. And it gives more in-depth insight into the life coach industry. Now, I've been certified since 2013. My 8th year anniversary is on April 27th. And that's when this bundle will be released unto you in thou inbox. Okay? So you'll get all of this. It's ready now. But I want to make sure you ready, and I'm ready to give it to you. So on April 27th is when the release to the masses will take place. So check out blacklifecoachmovement.com. Get in where you fit in, my friend, because I'm about to tell you what's in part of the Life Coach Revisited ebook on tonight with that in-depth insight into the industry, talking about those myths and misconceptions. If you feel me, if you hear me, if you're living and breathing and under the sound of my voice, can I get an emoji? That's like an amen, a hallelujah, a go ahead, let him use your preacher. Let me get one. And then I'll tell you what these myths and misconceptions are. Anybody still with me? I love engagement if you're here live. So, thank you, friend. I see you. I appreciate you. Okay. So now I'm ready to dive into some of the myths and misconceptions about life coaching, because many people think, number one, this is the biggest one. Well, it's 2 of them, so you got to hang around to hear all 3. But the biggest myth, like something that's not true, something that's made up, and the misconception, meaning, yeah, maybe you really don't understand the concept of coaching, is that people think life coaching is like therapy. So I've even stopped telling people that I'm a life coach. Like, I'm new in my home. You guys know about that if you follow my story, my journey, my lives, my tears. We are celebrating the almost official move in. Like, I just came with a car full of stuff right before this live, and I unpacked it really quick, took a shower, and jumped on here. So my neighbor, when she found out I was a life coach, she was like, oh my gosh. I said, no. She probably will watch this and laugh. Life coaching is not like therapy. People are so quick when they hear the title life coach. They're like, oh, diagnose me, coach my life, or let's fix my. No, I don't do that. None of that. Because coaching is not like therapy. Let me tell you real quick the difference between the two. I go into more detail in the Black Life Coach bundle over at blacklifecoachmovement.com, because it takes more than just a quick Facebook Live for you to really grasp how to explain to people how coaching and therapy, 2 different things. But in a nutshell, coaching deals with your future, where you are. Let's say where you are is you're making $1,000 in what you do, whatever it is. But where you want to be, you want to make 5,000. Your life coach comes in to help you put together the little pieces. We call it the wheel of life. You learn more about that in the training as well as in the bundle over at blacklifecoachmovement.com. So all of the moving pieces of your life start to align when you get coached, because it's helping you move from where you are, 1,000, to where you want to be, 5,000. Okay. Therapy and counseling is when you say, oh, I only make $1,000. And your therapist and your counselor says, well, how does that make you feel? Ugh, I roll, because that ain't what we do. I don't really need to hear your feelings. I definitely don't want to see your tears. I will hug you and let you cry a little bit, but then we're going to get back to work because we got to get you from 1,000 to 5,000. You can cry along the way, but we're going to really cry when you hit that 5,000. But a therapist is going to say, well, let's talk about your childhood and why do you think that it's impossible for you to make more money? Do you not have examples in your family? Well, did anybody in your family ever make more than that? They're going to go to your past. That's not what coaching is. Remember, therapy, counseling in the past. Life coaching, where you are, $1,000 to where you want to be, $5,000. Okay. Now, you still might have some past issues as you hit that 1,000, but you and your therapist and your counselor work that out, not you and your life coach. Okay? You see what we doing? We moving forward. What's the song? Moving forward. Okay, you get, I see some emojis. Those are my virtual amens. So I think y'all get the point. Thank you, church. The difference between coaching and counseling. So there's a big misconception because when people hear coaching, they think counseling. You have to tell them counseling is in the past. We're not licensed, so we don't do that. Coaching is in the present, where you are. And we get you where you need to be. Thank you for sharing the video. I see you, girl. I appreciate you. You can find out a little bit more detail. It's probably a little bit more animated than this over at blacklifecoachmovement.com in the bundle because I dive in. And y'all, oh my gosh, I just found out some information recently. I got to add to the book. So if you want to get the book, it's deep. And I get excited when I find out new things that nobody knows and not talking about yet. I'm the first Black woman online with a bachelor's in training and development. So that means I know how you like to learn and be preached too. Then I got that good old master's we working through in life coaching itself. And then we got that honorary with a T, Christian psychology PhD degree. So Dr. A.J. Austin be preaching and bringing the knowledge on this thing we call life coaching, especially in the Christian arena. The Bible says my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and I'm here to make it all sing and make sense with a little entertainment. You feel me? Out there said you make all things new. Hey, come on. Listen, okay? I wish I could play music on Facebook. They will shut you down. Like, is this your music? So, you feel me out there. Thank you, girl. Thank you for sharing the video. I saw the little pop-up on my AirPad. So number one, that's the biggest myth. People think coaching and counseling is the same. It's not, but now y'all know how to tell them the difference, right? Okay, because we're educating. These little 2 bonuses, let me see some emojis if you want to see the other bonuses, because it's a lot of myths and misconceptions floating around and a lot of people don't know. And I love to bring the knowledge to these internet streets for those future Black women who are becoming certified life coaches with me, or even if you need a checklist of what to look forward to in a training, I got you. All of that is in the bundle. I'm telling you about the bundle little by little on future lives. So make sure your notifications are turned on and you set your alarm when I say I'll be live, because I'm going to bring some more pieces of the bundle. You can cheat and go to blacklifecoachmovement.com. Check it out. Get your copy of the bundle, because you get that and then some, because it releases on my 8-year life coach certification anniversary. And I got a private little pajama party for y'all coming up. So, yeah, I heard that word. We got to prep. I ain't prepped for worship on tonight. Okay. So thank you out there. So what we also need to know is that, here's my experience. Now, I was certified in 2013. I've been training and certifying coaches since 2016. The company that certified me welcomed me onto their team once I got my degree in training and development, and I became a master life coach certification trainer. We have 155 black folk, women of faith under my belt that have come train with me personally live here in Atlanta, which, by the way, we're bringing some live trainings back via virtual. So y'all stay tuned for that. But you got to get this bundle. Otherwise, you won't even know nothing about it. Okay. Then the other women who are certified under me, they have trained online via our self-study process, which has been live. It's officially out of the beta test. Over the last year, we brought in about $53,000 in the last 12 months off of that self-study process. And I'm so excited. That's why I'm here in my new home. That's why I show up and share with you guys what's possible. But you got to be educated. All my life that I've been working as an adult, I would never sell a product until I was educated properly in it. And so that's why I show up to educate you about this industry, because a lot of people don't know what they're getting into, like coaching ain't counseling. Okay. The second misconception, because people don't understand what coaching is, and we're here to show them and educate them and give them products like blacklifecoachmovement.com. Go get it. Okay. You need to know how to not only explain it, but also understand. So over my years of training, people have entered my training world and said, Dr. AJ, I've been coaching all my life. I just didn't know that's what you call it. And I don't say anything because technically, ethically, biblically, I can't judge lest ye be judged. But most of y'all ain't been coaching all your life, okay? And that's on the educational tip. It's not judging. It's not, putting myself above you. It's the fact that you just haven't been educated. So most people think coaching is telling other people how to live their life with a little neck roll. Like, you need to do this and you should do this. And if I was you, I would do this. And child, you shoulda, coulda, woulda, did that. That ain't coaching. That's been a girlfriend. That's been a mentor. That's been a family member. It ain't being a coach, okay? So coaching is about asking questions. If you've ever had a phone call with me, ever, at some point I've asked you a series of questions, because it takes me out of what you're trying to do in your present to help move you toward your future, not mine. My whatever don't matter. This is about you. So as a certified life coach, and again, most of this you won't know unless you've been through a certification process. So stop listening to these internet gurus tell you don't need to be certified. Technically, you don't. But if you want to be an educated coach and not have to worry about things like imposter syndrome, am I doing this right? Should I copy and paste what other people are doing? Let me Google and look up how to coach. Child, that's fake. And you will be sniffed out. The Bible talks about what's done in the dark will be brought to light. You will be discovered and uncovered that you're not skilled because you haven't invested in the skill of becoming certified, getting the knowledge that you need. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Your reputation will be destroyed if you out in these coaching streets trying to coach people and you haven't invested in your education. That's selfish. But we're going to move on. blacklifecoachmovement.com is where to start. If you feel like you don't know where to start, blacklifecoachmovement.com. I've had some caffeine today, so y'all work with me. So here we go. Coaching is about your client. It's about not their past, but what their present. What do they want? What do they need? What help do they need? And then you ask a series of questions to help them get what they need, because you are their life coach. It's not you trying to figure out their life and telling them what they need to go do. Because when you put yourself in that advisor or opinion situationship, you end up giving bad advice or wrong advice. For example, let's say you've been through something, because I've actually heard someone on the internets say that, oh, you can just coach from your story. Not true. We've all, especially as Black women adults in the Christian faith, have been through some stuff, trials, tribulations, and we've turned them into testimonies and triumphs, right? But if we were to tell someone how to do exactly what we just came through and it didn't work, and they failed, or they were injured, or they may even get sued because they did something we told them to do, guess who's legally liable and not covered? The uncertified coach, okay? So that's why we don't tell people what to do. That's why most of us have not been coaching all our lives, because most of us, until we get certified and invest in the education and training of learning the skill of life coaching, which is asking really good, powerful, life-changing, transformational questions, then you don't know how to coach. You may have even seen someone coach and tried to copy and do what they do. You have to invest in the skill of coaching if you want someone to invest in the skill of coaching within you. So I say that because if you think you've already been coaching, more than likely you've been being a friend, you've been parenting, You've been giving advice. You've been sharing opinions. You've been putting your drama and trauma onto someone else. And if they go and put into practice what you told them to do, you are legally liable. Let's move on, because I talk about if life coaches can be sued, and I also got a tip for how to protect yourself that I just learned recently that I'm going to add to this book that's a part of the bundle over at blacklifecoachmovement.com. Okay, so that's the answer to the question of, do I have to get certified? Can I just call myself a coach? People say I can coach from my story. Shall take a chance. Okay. Althea, all the books that I've written, one is called The Life Coach. It's an e-audio book. I'm reading it to you with all this energy, child. And I had tea and caffeine that day too. So it's the pre-training to come train with me, but it's a book as well. What I'm teaching from on tonight is the book called The Black Life Coach. It's protecting those future Black women who want to be certified, or even if you just want to be educated in what becoming a life coach looks like. All of that is included in the bundle over at blacklifecoachmovement.com. So the books that I've written, the books that I've written and read and recorded, all of that is in this Black Life Coach bundle over at blacklifecoachmovement.com. So I'm glancing. Let me show you what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my AirPad, and I got the page called Myths and Misconceptions in the Life Coaching Industry pulled up. And so I'm going to drop this last myth, and then we're going to wrap this up. But if you have more questions, go ahead and put them. I love conversation and engagement. So let's talk about this last myth and misconception, because I knew that because so much misinformation is out there, or we just don't know what we don't know, that I had to get this out of my head. I had to take we're in year 5 of me training over 155 coaches from around the world, as far as Africa, Austria, Australia, Kenya, the Cayman Islands, Vietnam, all over the northern U.S. And if it wasn't for COVID, we would be live somewhere here in Atlanta, and y'all would fly into me because I'm right next to the airport now. And so I'm already scouting conference centers, okay? So we're going to do some live trainings coming up, because this message has to reach the masses. But we can only do that when we start with educating ourselves. So I knew I had to take my story, my experiences as a trainer, my knowledge and experience as a coach. I told y'all my company brought in over $53,000 over the last 12 months with me working maybe 10 hours a week in one part of my company. And so I know what's possible when you sit and educate yourself. And I had to get that knowledge from here to the paper. And so that's why I wrote these books over the last year, recorded them for you. They're all ready to go over at blacklifecoachmovement.com. And it's everything I know up until this point. Now imagine when the next book is released, you guys are going to know exactly what I know, because I bring all the knowledge back to my people. So let's recap. Number 1, blacklifecoachmovement.com features the book that I'm coming from on tonight called The Black Life Coach. And all of the bundle releases in your inbox on April 27th, which is my 8-year anniversary. April 27th. And we're going to do something special for those of you who get the bundle. We have a couple people who have joined us in the bundle getting party. And so this book, the e-audio book, and other things I'm going to tell you about on future lives are all featured over at blacklifecoachmovement.com. And what we're talking about tonight is specifically the myths and misconceptions, and I should put misinformation, of the Black life coach industry. And it's specific to Black women of faith, because our walk as coaches is different. And I know it. Coaches who have come to me to say, Dr. AJ, I've invested thousands of dollars in this other life coach certification training, but it was different. I didn't feel included. I feel like I need more. It wasn't enough. I need what you got. You have the story that I relate to. You know the struggle of the industry, being a woman, being Black, being Christian. You know, we're a lot of minorities in this thing, small business owners, all the things. And so I bring all of that into what I write and what I teach in these e-courses and e-audios and the books that's over at blacklifecoachmovement.com. And so number 1 on tonight, we talked about how life coaching is not like therapy. That's a myth. Number 2, we talked about how most people think they've already been coaching. They just didn't know what it was called. And I'm quoting it because that's what I keep hearing over the last 5 years of me being coached. And so I have to address that. Althea says, you have any that have studied under me doing this. The 155, you mean, that I've certified? Because I also have a program that teaches the certification process. So as I coached over the last, or as I've trained over the last 5 years, I lose count. People, it's always one in the training that's like, Dr. AJ, how do I get where you are? So I've personally crafted every single step I took. I served for 4 years under my multi-million dollar mentor. I lose track of the M's, but he's here in Atlanta. And I kept track of my process, what my days looked like when I trained live in heels and Spanx and a brand new bra to keep the girls up and get haircut and permed. My whole day is tracked. What I teach, how I taught. We didn't even teach from what I was supposed to be teaching from. I taught from stories and experience. All of that is a part of the program that I have that teaches you how to add the certification process. And I studied that like it was a college degree. That's why I'm a master life coach certification trainer, plus the 155 that I've trained. And so, yes, we have 155 people. I have their testimonies and their phone numbers. All of them will be happy to talk to you about training with Dr. AJ. Most of them are here on Facebook Live. The ones that have trained online with me, they're here in our private Facebook group. So some of them pop on and off our lives. They'll definitely come back and watch the replay. But yes, we do. Because I'm a big believer that ministry should have, ministries birthed within them. So yes, absolutely. We have coaches with their own coaching programs. We have coaches who are learning the certification process, whether they want to certify other coaches like they see their Dr. AJ do, or whether they want to just add a certification or training process to what they do as a coach. So, for example, if you're a youth empowerment coach and you want to train and certify other youth empowerment coaches, we walk you through that process in that program. So it's two parts, but you got to get the basic down, which is number one, getting educated about the field, seeing how I coach and train. And that's why I put the bundle together over at blacklifecoachmovement.com, because it gives you a taste of my style. How I am right here is how I am in all my trainings. I am the same regardless of if I'm talking to a stranger off the street or the president of the United States. And I believe that conversation with President Obama will come. We prophesying and manifesting that, okay? And we're going to laugh and talk and cut up just like this. So I say that because everything over at blacklifecoachmovement.com is a sample of my work and how I train. You will definitely see the testimonials as well of I got everybody's in there. I ran out of space for all the testimonials about training with me. So we definitely have products of my work. I believe in that. You should have proof of concept, people who can sing your praises and talk you through the training process of what it's like to work with me, even when I'm not in the room. So my ladies are well educated, they're well respected, they got my back to the fullest, and they will tell you how real I am. And like, yep, that's her. She probably said that. So let me wrap up with this last myth and misconception. Thank you for your questions as well. And if you got more, go ahead. I'm here. I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna have for dinner. I ate real good lunch. And so, yeah, you helping me map out that process. So by the time I get off here, I'm sure I'll be hungry and hopefully more certain about what I'm going to go eat. So thank you. So this final myth and misconception is wrapping everything up with life coaching and therapy just not being the same thing, or coaching and counseling not being the same thing. You haven't already been coaching if you haven't been certified on how to coach. And that final myth is how a lot of people think they can use what they learn as a coach, or they come into the coach training with me thinking they know what coaching is, but they don't. But then they get the wrong idea for how to use the information. So let's say, for example, I've had a conversation. Let me use a mother. So a mother called and she said, I think I've been coaching all my life. I just didn't know what to call it. My friends call on me, and I'm that girlfriend that, people want advice from or to pray with, or I'm serving in my church and I'm always getting called on as a leader. And she said, I also want to get certified because I want to use this on my kids. And I pause and I judge lest ye be judged scripture myself. And I reflect and meditate a minute, and then I start asking questions. Because again, coaching and therapy, not the same thing, but also coaching and parenting, not the same thing. Especially in a black household, because most of our black mamas, or I got a white stepmama, so she didn't play either. Now I was spoiled. I ain't gonna lie, she spoiled me. However, most of us as children don't get asked questions about what would you like to do to move you from where you are to where you want to be. How can we solve this problem together, little baby AJ? No, it's like if you don't get in there and do what or if it's like threaten with a belt, or if it's you thinking you can go manipulate someone like a child into doing something, that is not coaching. Most of your children don't want to be coached. They don't want their mama to coach them. But what you can do as a mother is decide how to incorporating that motherly feel into what you're going to bring to the life coaching industry. So yes, you want to parent better. Yes, it will teach you how to ask questions better. It will help you to start to understand how to help your kids get from where they are to where you want them to be, maybe even where they want to be. But it's going to help you to resonate with those who need that motherly love or approach or huggy feeling, warm vibe or environment when they come coach with you. So I've certified people with that parent mindset. And then we, at the end of our certification, have to demonstrate the skill of coaching. And so their practice client will come back to me and say, she felt like a mom. It was like a motherly vibe, or I appreciate how warm and understanding she was. That's how you introduce that parenting approach. But when you come coach, you got to let go of the myth or the misconception that you're going to go home and use this on your kids. Because number one, kids are going to say, why are you asking me so many questions? They going to know something up because you're playing. You can't use it for manipulation or mind games. You also can't really use it on your spouse or partner. Now, you can try, but from experience, I've heard that it sounds like an interrogation. So if you're asking a spouse, a partner, even a family member too many questions, they like, why are you asking me all these questions? Like, what you want from me? What you up to? What you hiding? That's not being a coach in integrity. And we teach ethical coaches. One of our founding pillars of the International Center for Life Coach Training is ethical engagement. And so if you're coaching a person, they number one have to know that they're being coached by giving you permission to coach them. That's literally a question you ask your coaching clients. May I have your permission to coach you? Because that shifts their minds to receiving. But if you're just pounding someone with questions thinking, I'm going to manipulate my child into doing what I want them to do, I'm going to psych my spouse out and get them to do what I want them to do, that's not coaching. That's manipulation. And it's not ethical, and your business won't succeed like that. And then your kids can't pay you. Your spouse will not pay you. Most of your family and friends will not want to pay you. They may go pay someone else to do the same thing that you do, but they're not necessarily your client. They're not necessarily who you're called to serve. So you have to have your client's permission to coach them. Notice I said your clients. Clients usually pay. So you have to have their permission in the form of verbal permission or written permission or money, which is permission. They're promising to pay you with that promissory note of the dollar. You're promising to coach them because you have their permission. They know that they're being coached. They expect to be coached. They respect you as a coach when you get their permission versus giving them coaching. So you need to have their consent. Your kids will never consent to you coaching them. Ever. They'll talk to me because I'm a stranger. My background is in youth services, so I know how to get kids to open up. Kids have confessed things to me that they would never tell their parents. And I'd be like, okay, now we got to go sit down with your mom and tell them what really happened. But it's a way you have to earn their trust. But your kids aren't your clients. Your kids will never be able to pay you. And so if you come get certified with the intent to misuse or abuse the information that you learn, it's going to come back on you. It usually comes back in the form of, no one wants to pay me. My family and friends don't support me. No one really believes in what I do. My business is struggling. I don't have clients. I'm not making money. Is this really for me? Am I called? Should I go get a job? That's because you're not getting the right consent from the right people who really need you. And we dive into 88 different specializations of how to find the right people who you are called to. It's called a niche. And that is introduced in what? The Future Black Woman Certified Life Coach Beginner's Bundle that's over at www.blacklifecoachmovement.com. Because this here, what I've shared tonight, most of y'all don't know. Most people don't know. But I've been doing this for so long, seeing so many scenarios that I love that I get to share in my books, which are over at blacklifecoachmovement.com, right? And most of the trainings and certifications out there will never reveal this to you because you are seen as a number and a dollar sign or a certain amount. So hopefully this has educated you. And this is only, y'all seen how short this little paragraph is about the myths and misconceptions. I also dive into the mistakes that a lot of coaches make, future and existing. And we have to refresh our knowledge via resources like what's over at blacklifecoachmovement.com, because you need to know what to look out for as a coach, and you need to protect yourself legally. Thank you, Althea. She's like, I see your amens and so truths and that's truths and wow. She said you're great at this. I've been told that. Thank you. I've been told recently I'm called to this. I'm anointed for this. I'm definitely walking in my purpose. So I love it. I feel it because it's education, it's passion, it's my story, my experience. This stuff cannot be taught as far as it can be lived. And so I'm sharing with you what I've lived. You can read a book all day, but to hear the stories in the book of real life experiences that's currently happening and how to avoid these myths, these mistakes, this misinformation, these misconceptions before you even reach that point, that's what it's about. She says, you have my attention. Take care of the needs and not your wants, and you will do great. Yes. So, and it's both. So on my end, what I needed to do for 4 years was to submit under leadership, and that's what I did. The people who certified me allowed me to just go teach as freely as I wanted because I am a degreed trainer. I'm a professional trainer, so I know how to get you into the content. I know how to meet you where you are learning-wise, whether you're visual or auditory or kinesthetic. All of that is incorporated into my trainings as well as my books. And also, what I wanted was to come back to my community, the Black community, the Black woman community, the Black woman of faith community, the Black woman of faith who wants to become a future certified life coach. You see how fine-tuned that is? And it's a lot of us. And I'm glad that we can connect spirit to spirit and heart to heart, because that's what it's about. So that what you need in life monetarily, it's taken care of. What you want in life, and some things you don't even know you want till you see it and you see what's possible. I am here as that example of what's possible. When you say yes to God, when you submit to his will, when you submit to authority, when you take in knowledge, when you pay attention to the surroundings of this vast industry, but specifically tune in to what your people are doing. So there are a lot of other, Black life coaches out there. But as far as Black women of faith, Christian coaches who are ethically engaging in their clients and doing it right, they're not giving in to these myths and misconceptions because they've heard something, but they've actually invested in their knowledge and their skills and their training. And it's beyond money. Of course, you're going to invest financially to get to your next level, but you're also going to invest your time to sit and learn the information, to absorb it, to hear it. We learn better through stories. And so you're listening to stories, you're listening to testimonials, you're listening to where people started and where they are now. And then you're like, okay, I know what not to go do, based on somebody's story. And you're absorbing the information you need to go forth in the earth and prosper, increasing your impact, your influence, and your income, or confidently converting conversations to clients' cash checks and credit cards. That's our motto. That's what I teach coaches to do. You ain't gonna find this nowhere else. You ain't gonna find this nowhere else. That's Atlanta for you will not find this anywhere else. Okay? I do what I love. I love what I do. So I appreciate you guys for showing up live and engaging. And, being a part of this journey, because that's what it is. This industry is forever evolving, and we have the freedom to do what we want, but we have to have our foundation right for the house to stand, to last, to have something to build on. So, yes, it's about learning from what's been done, taking what used to work, bringing it modern, because as you know, our world is different than it was this time last year. It will be different this time next year, and we have to learn how to adapt. And so I'm bringing that modern day Black approach to the life coaching industry. We're putting some Jesus in there, and we impacting lives. We have some of our coaches on reality TV shows. One of our coaches just finished a documentary. Our coaches are authors and speakers and podcasters and just doing some phenomenal things. And all they needed was the know-how, the skill, the confidence to be built. And it all came by attending classes with me and training and then raising their hand to say, yes, Dr. AJ, I'm ready to become a certified life coach. And when they got that piece of paper in their hand, child, you couldn't tell them nothing. And they're still building to this day and impacting their community. And so I'm a big believer in, when you impact one life, you impact generations. That's why I'm here. Somebody did it for me, and now I can do it for generations. And that's what we've done. We have 155 generations impacted as I speak through the Black women who have been certified with me, little old me, from the country streets of Atlanta, Georgia. And I love it. I love platforms like this. I'm now a part of Facebook Leaders Network. Like a representative from Facebook has come and watched my lives, watched me cut up and talk to y'all, and inducted me into their Leaders Network. So when they come to little low country towns in Atlanta, guess whose phone rings? Like, AJ, where your people? Y'all want to come to this event real quick? Guess who you're going to see on stage? Guess who you're going to see in the press? Your coach, okay? And so for everyone who is a part of my tribe, meaning you've invested in trainings with me, you've become certified through me, you're in my mastermind, you're in my group coaching, learning how to add even more income to what you do as a coach, my squad comes with me. And I keep track of names. I literally have a list of names of every single one of our coaches. So if your name off on the list, you get welcome in to opportunities like that. So because they see the work that we're doing and how it's impacting the Black community and the world as a whole, especially with things like Black Lives Matter or the Black Lives Matter movement, and everything that was going on this time last year, and how it's not a trend for us. We're Black for the rest of our lives, and we just want, to have that same impact on the world that we can have, regardless of the color of our skin. But we're specifically starting with the Black community. So that's why I'm here. Again, you can tell I'm passionate about this. I do what I love. I love what I do. And I love engaging in this, answering questions, and definitely educating. So if you want to know more about me and my story and how I got involved in this and what brought me here and how I submitted under leadership and what that looks like now and where it's going, head over to blacklifecoachmovement.com. Thank you for the go girls. I appreciate you. Are there any final questions? I kind of think I know what I want to go eat, but we'll see when I get off here. Any final questions before I go? Again, just a quick recap. The life coaching is not like therapy. You have not already been coaching if you haven't been certified, and you cannot use this information on anyone. Okay? You have to consent. Coach Deborah, if you're watching the replay, I see you. I will respond when I'm no longer live. We're about to wrap this up. Over at blacklifecoachmovement.com, I have already given you 2 of 4 parts that's in this bundle. One is the Life Coach Revisited e-audio book, which is the actual pre-training to my one-day life coach certification self-study process. And so if you're that girlfriend that people have told you you're a great listener, you're easy to talk to, but you're tired of doing it for free, or you using your advice given on the wrong people, then you need to go take what we call the life coach assessment to see where you are as a potential future life coach. And if you really want to learn the skill of coaching, becoming successful at it as a professionally trained, skilled, qualified, certified life coach, then blacklifecoachmovement.com is the place to start. So my last live, we talked about where to start as a future life coach. You start over at www.blacklifecoachmovement.com. Take the life coach assessment, and then take the life coach promise, where you make that heart-to-heart to yourself, to God, to your legacy as a coach, to your clients and your future as a coach. Committing yourself to this work, because it is work and it's a ministry. And then today we talked about part 2 of 4 of the bundle, which is the Black Life Coach. And it's that ebook that goes into more in-depth insight into the life coaching industry, specifically the myths and misconceptions. Can life coaches be sued? And all the other goodies. Okay. So, if you have any other questions, feel free to tag me if we're no longer live. If you want to chat in the inbox, I am available. Just let me know here on Facebook. I'm happy to answer any other questions. But all the questions that you could possibly have about this bundle is over at blacklifecoachmovement.com. And in my future live, we'll dive into part 3 of the bundle and what that really looks like. Because I put together some goodies in part 3 of the bundle. So y'all got some good stuff coming to you on the 27th. Right now, the bundle is open for pre-purchase. It will be released in your inbox in full on April 27th, which is my 8-year life coach certification anniversary, along with some other goodies. So it will definitely be worth your wait. All hearts and minds clear? I don't see any other questions out there. Thank you so much for engaging tonight. Shouts out to Coach Plezzy Small. Thank y'all for joining. I seen somebody else pop in here, and I think I missed the hello. Hey, Latricia, how are you? Thank you for the congratulations. So if you're interested, if I really had your attention, if you're like, yeah, I can see myself being part of this squad, I represent one of legions. We literally have, when the ladies get certified with me, they're called the Ladies of Legacy, and they're deep. So legacies are there to support you. And they sound like me. I didn't even know it. So yes, we definitely have some little AJs here. And this was fun. So thank you. Make sure your notifications are turned on. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and turn the bell on. Okay. I want to talk to you. If you're listening via podcast, subscribe so you can get the notifications when good, juicy tidbits like this drop in. I love chatting with you guys, and I love the engagement, so bring your questions, no matter how many you have, but a lot of them are answered over at blacklifecoachmovement.com. All hearts and minds clear. I don't see any new questions, so I will leave you with this. Remember, there's someone somewhere. They are waiting on you to walk in your destiny as a future Black life coach so they can walk into theirs. Because it's when you let your own light shine, you give others permission to do the same. I am Dr. AJ Austin, founder of the International Center for Life Coach Training, LLC. Meet me over at www.blacklifecoachmovement.com because this is a ministry, a mission, and a movement. Let's do this. I'll see y'all soon. Have a phenomenal rest of your day. God bless. Bye, future Black life coaches.